Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about Guerlain's L'Homme Idéal Extrême, or however you say extreme, extreme. It has the little accent there. But this is my first Guerlain fragrance, and let me just say, this stuff is high quality. Everything from the bottle design to the smell to the longevity, this stuff is just high quality and classy. I really enjoy this. This is my favorite fragrance out of my collection. I have almost 40 fragrances and this just beats them all out. It's just so amazing. I got it a couple weeks ago and it immediately just went to the top of my rankings. The bottle is really basic. The older bottles had a little bit more design and they had a different label on it. This is the newer bottles. I like the older bottles better, but I'm not gonna complain. The glass feels very thick and high quality. The cap, even though it's plastic, it definitely has some metal in there because it has some heft. And the atomizer is silver. It's a little bit short though, which is interesting. It's like a smaller atomizer than typical. And on the top of the atomizer, it has the Guerlain logo. Same thing with the top of the cap. It clicks on nice. This is an eau de parfum 100 ml, and I got it for like 80 bucks or 76 bucks off Amazon, I think, but you can also get it on like FragranceNet, Jumbo Shop, places like that. So I got this stuff because I saw it online. I wanted to get a fragrance that not a ton of people had, but still had good reviews, and I wanted something classy and that just smelled really good. But I also wanted to take a little bit of a risk on something that I didn't know that I was gonna 100% like, and this is where I landed. I was between Guerlain L'Homme Eau de Parfum and Guerlain L'Homme Extrême, and I ended up going with this because it just sounded like a better fragrance to me. People kept saying, oh, plum, cherry, almond, vanilla, tobacco, and I was like, heck yeah, that sounds amazing. So yeah, this stuff is just amazing. Let me tell y'all what I smell. I'm gonna spray the opening right here. Has a pretty good atomizer. Shoots a far cloud. And the opening has a nice juicy cherry and plum. Yeah. A juicy cherry and plum with a little bit of tobacco. But this isn't like a cigarette tobacco. This is like a nice, sweet, rich tobacco. It just smells super good. And as it dries down, you get some of that almond and a little bit of that vanilla. And that almond just smells like class, just smells super high quality. And this fragrance also, I want to mention, it's blended really well. Everything about this just screams class, high quality, sophistication. It's just amazing. And then on the dry down, more of that vanilla comes out and more of that almond. Those fruity notes go away a little bit, but you still smell a little bit of that cherry and the plum. But it's vanilla, almond, tobacco, mainly vanilla and almond in the dry down. And it smells really, really good. I cannot complain. Super scrumptious. Even though it does smell like fruits and vanilla, it's not very gourmand. It's interesting. It's just a very nice, cozy, sweet, warm scent. And I really like it. It's very unique. Now, let's check out what Fragrantica has as the listed notes. Alright, so I have the notes pulled up on Fragrantica for Guerlain's L'Homme Idéal Extrême. And in the top, it has almond, pink pepper, and bergamot. Yeah, I can actually smell that. I think the cherry that I was smelling was a mix of the plum and the pink pepper, and it made it smell kind of like a cherry. And then the almond, yeah, I think that could actually be a middle note though, because you don't get it right away when it's sprayed. It takes a second for that to come out. And then bergamot, yeah, bergamot is just a really solid note that's in a lot of openings. It kind of gets your attention and tickles your nose a little bit in a good way. And then in the middle notes, it has plum, cinnamon, and heliotrope. Yeah, I definitely smell the plum. Definitely some fruitiness in that opening for the first little while. Definitely also a factor in that little cherry-like smell. And then cinnamon, yeah, I can smell some cinnamon. I didn't really smell any cinnamon before it came to my attention, but now that I know that it's in there, I can smell it. Yeah. And heliotrope, I'm not sure exactly how that smells, so I'm just gonna kind of glaze over that. And then base notes, tobacco, yeah, I think tobacco could be a middle note too, honestly. You smell it pretty quickly, but yeah, definitely accurate. Leather, yeah, I can actually get a little bit of leather. a little bit of that new car smell leather, like you get an ombre leather by Tom Ford. That's a fragrance that I really want, but I'm not sure when I'd wear it, so I'm trying to decide if to get ombre leather or not, but I'm just getting off track. And then it's got patchouli and cedar. Yeah, I can smell that. I think the cedar is where I'm getting the vanilla smell from, because cedar, in certain ways, cedar and sandalwood, if they're implemented in fragrances in certain ways, they can come across as like a vanilla. And then the patchouli is typically paired with woody notes, and it kind of complements them and makes them a little bit stronger and more unique. So I think these notes are actually really accurate, and they kind of made me realize what's actually in this fragrance and what I'm smelling. For example, I thought there was cherry, and it's just a mix of pink pepper and plum, but I can definitely see that now, and how it brought to my attention that there's cinnamon and leather. So I'm really happy that there are Fragrantica notes for us to look at, so it can help me kind of break down this fragrance and appreciate it for what it really is. Alright, so the longevity of Guerlain L'Homme Idéal Extrême is actually pretty good. It's a little bit above average in my experience. I'm getting 8 to 10 hours, more around that 10-hour mark, and in those last 4 or 5 hours, it's going to be more of a skin scent. But if you spray any more than 5 or 6 sprays, people are going to be smelling this. I'm a bit of an oversprayer. I typically spray around 10, maybe more or less sprays in each fragrance, and I don't even know if I'll get up to 10 with this. I think that might just be too strong. And this is more of a sophisticated and elegant scent, and typically when it comes to these types of scents, you want it to be not as much of a screaming in-your-face smell. You want it to be a subtle, really nice little whiff that you get, and it's not something that as soon as you walk in the room everyone's gonna smell. But you could totally overspray this, or even do like 11 or 12 sprays, and as soon as you walk in the room, people are gonna smell you. When I actually, first time I was testing out this fragrance, I had family over. I sprayed it once on my hand so I could kind of see how it smelled. Actually, that was after I had sprayed it. Whenever I get new fragrances, I spray them like 20 times really quickly, just to get all the stuff that's been sitting in the atomizer, and just to kind of quickly get oxygen in the bottle, because it helps the fragrance change quicker, because over time fragrances change and they typically get deeper and stronger and last longer the longer that they're in the bottle. But the biggest change comes a couple days after, so the more you can just spray sooner, the better this fragrance is going to get quicker. But that's not just this fragrance in specific, that's all fragrances in general. But going back to my main point, I sprayed this once on my hand, walked past my uncle, and he was like, wow, I smell that, it smells really good and it's strong. So that's really good to know. And the couple days later, I was actually going to the movies with my uncle, my aunt, and my cousins, and I was in the car, and I had sprayed I had sprayed 1 spray on myself and 3 sprays on a sweatshirt that I had like behind my back, and they all smelt it a lot in the car, and they said it smelled really good, but it was pretty strong. So keep that in mind. This is a projector, it performs really well, which I'm really happy with, because some of my favorite fragrances don't perform the greatest, so I'm glad that this one does. I think you can wear this in spring, winter, and fall, maybe less in the summer, but I wore it on like a summer evening, summer night, because it has that plum and the pink pepper and the bergamot in the opening. I think it's really nice, and it could fit like a summer night. It has that tobacco and leather. So if you can pull this off, I think that this actually is a great fragrance for summer nights because of the notes that it has, but an even better fragrance for fall, spring, and winter for sure. I recommend this to guys that are a little bit more sophisticated and put together. This isn't really something that I would think to smell on a dude in gym shorts and a t-shirt. More someone in like a polo and khakis, or nice high quality clothes, you know, someone that's really put together. And I would rate this fragrance probably like a 9.8 out of 10. This is actually 10 out of 10. I'll give it a 10 out of 10. I love this fragrance. The only other 10 out of 10 fragrance I've ever smelled is Parfums de Marly-Layton, and this is just amazing stuff. I recommend it to everybody that is willing to take on a challenge. It is a little bit of a challenging scent. I can see why you wouldn't like it, but to me it just smells amazing, and I blind bought it and got lucky, so I hope you guys can have the same. If you have any questions, please comment them down below. I'd be happy to answer them. If you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.